Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP as well as the vast majority of crypto. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here. So I put out this tweet yesterday when the news broke around Binance and the founder CZ getting sued by the CFTC for allegedly violating trading rules. Now, as I looked at this lawsuit, it really wasn't as bad as what most people were making it out to be. A lot of people were saying that this is going to be the next FTX collapse, and I seen even people calling for $3,000 on Bitcoin. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I said mainstream media headline articles everywhere. Create the narrative, push the narrative, make retail fear the narrative. It's been their goal since day one around Luna, around FTX, and even around Coinbase and now Binance. They want individuals to make it seem like this entire space is one big scam. Everyone should avoid it, that, it's all one big Ponzi scheme, blah, 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 all this nonsense. And even recently, Gary Gensler's comments have really kind of told us that that is the case. But I even said it's all an orchestrated attack on an asset class that is challenging a century plus old legacy system. And again, the motive, we just recently talked about it as well. Like, the reason why these exchanges are being targeted, the reason why we are seeing, a big pushback from the traditional leaders and the traditional, if you will, agencies that are protecting the big bankers is because they want to take control. It's all about control. They don't want to kill crypto. They understand the power and the potential behind this entire asset class. What they want is they want Wall Street to be the ones that are custodying crypto. They also want Wall Street to be the ones that are in charge. They want all of the control around this entire asset class. So what are they doing? Well, they're utilizing regulatory actions by enforcement, or if you will, enforcement by regulation, to go after specific players within the space and make a major headline every single time to fear monger, if you will, around crypto. Make sure that retail is not attracted at all to investing into crypto at all. And the thing is that it's actually not working. We've seen this in the past couple months that there's still a huge interest on crypto, especially outside of the US. But the biggest problem that I have around this is retail being cut off in the US from being able to invest because a lot of people, and I've seen it in the comments as well, banks are starting to limit transactions. Banks are starting to now cut people out from being able to buy a certain amount, or, there's limitations. There's so much happening, and it's a big concern. But the thing is that all of these actions that we're seeing from the CFTC or the SEC, whatever, they're trying to make an example. That's all it is a big example on, hey, listen, we don't want exchanges being the only players here. We want to have Wall Street have their hands in. That's why we talked about Fidelity, BlackRock, and, even NASDAQ, right? All jumping in on crypto custody services. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want to take control. That's all it is. And even over here around the lawsuit, so all this is basically the fact that Binance has a trading desk, an internal trading desk that has 300 accounts. Now, with this, we see that they do not disclose this in their terms of use, that they are basically utilizing its own markets as trading. Now, obviously, listen, are they manipulating the market or anything like that? So far, what I've seen, it's not market manipulation, but I do believe that they are trading against their users. And I think what's going to happen from here on out is Binance is going to get hit with a fine. They're going to pay it, and then what they're going to do is they're going to go back to the terms of use and they're going to change it. They're going to alter something or put it in there, and they're going to go on around what they do right now going forward on in time as well, because it's going to be fine, because now it's going to be in their terms of use. They paid the fine, it's going to be fine. But I do believe that we're going to still see exchanges being targeted. And I think that, this is just the beginning of a lot more regulatory actions being taken by the CFTC as well as even the SEC. What do you see over here from Eleanor to Rhett? New, according to sources familiar, the CFTC lawsuit was dropped on Binance without warning, similar to Coinbase as well as notice. Some industry professionals believe this was a political move by the CFTC to show the SEC that this is a commodities issue rather than a securities one. They also say Vegas odds have the SEC Gov rushing out a similar lawsuit against Binance as a counter. So, very interesting. Don't know what's going to happen here, but it seems as though there's a big push for who's going to have regulatory boundaries over this market. But ultimately, their goal is probably the same. Listen, they both are protecting the big banks and they're both protecting the traditional players. We're going to see a lot more regulatory actions within the US. And it's comical because all of this plays back to one thing, which we just recently made a video on, Operation Choke Point 2.0. The federal bank regulators come for crypto. And here we have, hard to deny now that there is a coordinated assault on Bitcoin. I love these Bitcoin maxis that always have to bring Bitcoin into the subject every single time. It's not just Bitcoin, it's every single asset, it's every single crypto exchange as well, decentralized or not. Every asset is up for target. But freedom will push back at national and state level. The agency's backroom war is unlawful and unconstitutional. Congress should perform its duty and rein in these regulatory abuses. And, we're waiting still on Congress. Congress has not really spoken on much at all. And we're still waiting on if Ripple is going to be the big player that wins against the SEC and puts some sort of direction in the right way on how things are going to be regulated and how regulatory just decisions are made going forward on in time, because Ripple does have regulatory frameworks in place as well that they've already drafted for UK and even in the US. But again, none of that is even being looked at or even considered, and we know why. So again, we are still waiting, but I do believe that, OCP 2.0, Operation Choke Point 2.0, I do believe that this is intensifying. And we actually did see Andrew, AP Abacus over on Twitter, I hope that I'm saying that name right, posting this. Operation Choke Point 2.0 is intensifying and speeding up, and now global in scope. Regulators simply do not care about collateral damage to the U.S. innovation or consumers. Any damage caused is seen as a worthwhile byproduct of the control of money. And here we have the exhibits. And this is, there's a lot more to come. But if you actually take a step back, we have seen so much happen from 2022 and just in the first 3 months of this year as well. It's been announcement after announcement, and examples are being made. And I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to take control. It's all a control aspect. They don't want to kill crypto. They want to control it like they control everything else, like they control the monopoly banking system. It's a big problem. Now, also, I do want to take a look real quick at what Gary Gensler posted. Like I said, examples being made. And look at this. Look at the wording on this. This is what I'm talking about. Going all the way back to the narrative game. This is what I mean. It's all to fear. Make sure that you are fearing these markets. Look at what Jim Cramer's talking about. Look at what we see on mainstream media. Crypto's a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. Avoid it. Avoid it. They've been screaming it ever since Bitcoin passed the dollar. It's $10. It's a scam. Get out of it. $100. Scam. 1,000. 10,000. Every single time. And here we have from Gary Gensler, the biggest clown himself. Investors in the crypto markets are putting their assets at risk in a highly speculative asset class. Today, investors in these markets lack fundamental disclosures about crypto assets and about the firms who execute their trades. Look at this. Investor alert. Exercise caution with crypto asset securities. I mean, look at this. You could clearly see the intent here. Make an example out of this asset class. Make sure these people understand that it's a cautious investment. You could lose everything. Don't even put your money in. That's how risky it is. Like 714,000 individuals seen this. This is all to play into the fear aspect around these markets. And every single time that we see a post from Gary Gensler, it's constantly repeating this narrative. Make sure that you are focused on the risk involved. These markets are extremely speculative. It's a risk. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And I want everyone to make sure that you are not following in the footsteps of the sheep. There's so many individuals that are caught up in this nonsense game that mainstream media is playing. And a lot of people are listening as well. You need to wake up. And Stuart Alderati even commented on a few things that the SEC was claiming. And we even do see appreciate the resounding rebuke of the SEC's claims of just come in and register from respected voices, not just across crypto, but also legal analysts. now recognizing the SEC's jurisdiction overreach. And yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, the SEC doesn't even really have jurisdiction over this market. Like, I don't even understand how the SEC can make claims around this asset class when they don't have no jurisdiction at all. And here we have from Bloomberg Law. Coinbase revealed last week that the SEC had served it with a Wells notice, a notification that the agency is planning to recommend enforcement action for alleged securities law violations. And within this, we even do see Coinbase saying, like, the just come in and register aspect from the SEC is just nonsense because they've tried, just like Ripple did many, many times. And in fact, Ripple even did meet with them on multiple occasions and zero issues got brought up. I mean, it's completely nonsense. And although, when we take a look at what's happening within the US, why don't we take a step back and look at what's happening outside of the US? Just in, Hong Kong regulators to assist crypto firms with banking in effort to become a digital asset hub. Literally every single major area around the world is doing so. Look at the UK. They want to become a crypto hub. The UAE, crypto hub. Hong Kong, crypto hub. I mean, everything outside of the US is moving extremely fast on crypto adoption, crypto acceptance, and how can they innovate with crypto. And we do see down here, meanwhile, the US government is killing innovation. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. And also, guess what? Chinese government-owned banks start showing support for crypto companies in Hong Kong. I mean, there's a big push for crypto adoption, crypto innovation, crypto acceptance, and we have a clown himself constantly parading around, acting like he's someone protecting you and me. They're not. And the SEC, right? This agency, it's a nonsense agency that is taxpayer involved, by the way. Like, we fund this. We literally fund this agency. And I ask all of you as well. Comment down below. I'd love to hear from all of you. Do you feel protected by the SEC? Because I've talked about it in the past, right? Like, all of these big announcements around Binance, Coinbase, XRP, all this kind of stuff. Like, go back to the SEC lawsuit against Ripple with XRP and look at the damages that it caused. $15 billion in damages the lawsuit from the SEC did to retail individuals that they said that they were protecting. I mean, think about that. $15 billion in damages. Do you honestly believe that the SEC is protecting retail investors by causing that much harm? Absolutely not. They want to take control of this market. It's all a control aspect. Every single thing that we've seen has led us up to this point now. And the craziest thing about it is that I remember everyone scolding the XRP community back in 2020 when the lawsuit dropped, saying that XRP was a scam coin, this, that, whatever. And now, more so than ever before, individuals are starting to wake up and smell the roses and finally see what's happening. It's an orchestrated attack to take control of this market and give all of the power back to, guess who? That's right, big bankers. Because that's all they care about. It's all control, it's all greed, and it's exactly what this entire monopoly traditional banking sector has been built upon. Control and greed. And I believe that I speak for everyone when I say that we are just tired of this nonsense. We are tired of living in this world where, these big bankers and the rich continue to get rich off of the backs of retail. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.